What is going on, everybody? It is Kaplan and crew with Grande and the Brown Man. Today is Wednesday, and we are live from the 7 Mile Casino Studios in San Diego, 7milecasino.com. You want to play blackjack, poker, other table games. You want to have an amazing dining experience at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar right inside the casino. By the way, 7 minutes south of downtown, because you're going to Padre games, you might as well stop by. Freeway access is super easy and no smoking ever. And that's for 24/7, man. Open all day, all night. 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. Hope everybody is great today. If you are watching as part of our live YouTube chat, so many new people every day since we hit SportsGrid coming into our live YouTube chat. I see my father is in Boca del Vista Phase 4. He's watching today. I see Maria and our man Rick Borba from the Gaslamp Tavern, Joanne and
Are you sure
Andre.
it's your father?
Well, I think today it's my father. I think
Sure.
it's not the black dude from yesterday whose name was Charles Gooden, who all I read was Charles and thought it was my father. This is actually the guy who spells his name the same way I do. I think that's my dad. So to everybody who's watching and listening on YouTube, everybody who's watching on SportsGrid, because I got SportsGrid up on my TV in my studio. Gosh damn, we are so freaking hot. To everybody who's listening on SportsGrid Radio, channel 159 on Sirius XM, and to all of our audio podcast listeners, wherever you may be, whenever you are listening. By the way, Facebookers, Twitters, you name it, wherever you are, we're happy to have you guys here. And I have been up since about 4 o'clock this morning. I'm on fire today. I don't know what's going to be said. I don't know whose feelings are going to be hurt. I don't know who I'm going to have to apologize to and kiss ass after the show. I'm just ready to rock and roll today. Grande, Brown Man, how we living, fellas? What's good?
What's good?
What up,
Living
what
large.
up?
Living in
What
China.
up?
Shout out to everybody here. Shout out. You know who was here? I know we were not supposed to start here, but now I'm like catching up. Because you know what Browner does? He's got such good stuff for us to talk about, but he'll just randomly drop it and not say nothing about it. You know? Like, here's this thing that's happening. Check it out. No. He just drops a link and expects us to click it and know exactly what he wants us to talk about.
Never gives us any reminders. And then I'm like, Brown, how come you didn't tell us about this, and this? And he goes, well, I sent a link yesterday in our group chat. And I'm like, yeah, but like, if you don't say something to us today, like while we're putting the show together and we're like running it all down, what we think the show is going to look like, which by the way, we can write it out for every segment of every show. And it never works out that way. Already we're off the rails today, you know?
Right.
But why do you do that, Brown?
First of all, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good midday. And if you listen to this via podcast, good night. I don't know what y'all talking about. Here I am, trying to help the show move forward in a content-based variety by sending something that I thought the two of you would really get a kick out of. And we can really use on this show for our national audience to kick off football season, which I actually put in there. But the fact that y'all didn't see something I sent yesterday at 6 o'clock.
I saw it. I brought it up.
What me to do?
I brought it up.
I also.
What are you talking about? I brought it up. I was like, Alex, did you see the whole thing about the flex on the Charger fans and how Browner's kind of going back and forth with Charger fans, which by the way is kind of weird because Browner is like a self-proclaimed Charger lover. You know,
he's wearing a Charger hat right now.
Embarrassing. Just shameful.
First of all,
although it is a San Diego Charger hat, give him
maybe that's why he sent this thing to us. Maybe he was there.
First of all, let me just clear something up.
Go ahead.
To any of you bozos that saw that tweet, X, whatever, and tried to come at me over what I thought of that little baby celebration, pound sand, bruh. Scream at a cloud. Yeah, tweet at it. I ain't gonna see it. I don't care, man. I don't care.
I ain't gonna see it, but you did see it.
You did see it and you commented on it.
And you commented on it.
No, listen. No,
it got your attention.
No, listen. Again,
what?
As a way to move the show forward with content, I sent this to you two and I added the show so y'all could see it for yourself. Because what I do, and I can fully admit this, and I'm working on this as a way to be a better broadcaster, is I tend to tell the story from the middle to the end. And I don't really tell the beginning.
Right.
And
yeah, usually you pick up a story and we are all like, time out. Can you go back to the beginning so we know what the hell you're talking about, dog?
Right.
Correct. I pick up the story where I'm at, not where Other people need to fill in the information to catch up to me. I tell y'all the story where I'm at.
So now where we're at the end of the story.
Right. We haven't even told the beginning of it
because
yet.
People listening right now have no idea what we're talking about.
Right.
Y'all did it this time, not me.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the beginning.
Well, because you sent it to us.
Right.
You didn't bring it up in our pre-show meeting.
Right.
You didn't talk about it in our rundown. And now I'm trying to research what the hell you sent. So now I actually know what you sent because
I have a quick question.
And dig and you didn't even send the original tweet. So like I don't know where this was. I didn't know where this was. I didn't know who this was. I didn't know when this was. I didn't know nothing.
Well, I have a question though.
Backclick and find the original.
But why are you using air quotes when talking about our pre-show meeting?
Right. Because we are meeting, but our rundown is basically just wasted time because we never follow it.
That's true.
That's facts. That's
like Browner doesn't even say a single word during these meetings.
Oh my God, I know.
He's there. He's sitting there.
Right.
And by the way, pull the curtain back. We're sitting here, 9:40 in the morning, going over what are we going to talk about. Browner's sitting here. Browner has his headphones down. Browner has his microphone on every day. He's sitting there. By the way, has been earlier than us as of late.
Got to give him credit.
So shout out to
is
you.
Weird. No, because Alex, it's weird because on Saturday at the Gaslamp Tavern, the fantasy draft was supposed to start at 2. Browner showed up at like 2:30. I told everybody, I go, there's Browner time and then there's real time.
Right.
I got there at 2:15.
Oh, my B. My B.
Yeah.
My bad, y'all.
Instead of getting there early to say, anyways, that's not the point. The point being is that we've been doing SportsGrid. We just counted too. We're 7 weeks in. I think Browner has spoken 7 words in those rundown meetings. Like the guy just sits there.
Yeah.
Because in that particular space, y'all already know how I operate, okay? I'm a home run hitter, okay? I'm a content driver. Y'all just tell me what we talk about, and I'll give y'all the goal, baby. How we get to that street, I don't need to know the navigation. I'm the destination, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Y'all just tell us how to get there, and when we get there, bam, I drop a punchline on you.
All right.
You know, 3 people talking at that time ain't gonna help nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just letting you know, like, go ahead.
Well, I want to tell you, Miss Molly says in our live YouTube chat that Browner showed up late and he came in all sweaty.
Because I rode my bike there, but I thought that was general knowledge to everybody because it was a massive bike in the corner that I rode down there.
But wait a second,
to try to avoid the traffic.
Wait, but that was that really nice e-bike that you have, right?
Yeah.
So why are you so sweaty?
Shout out to Ride One Up because I have to pedal. It doesn't have a throttle.
I got the one with the throttle.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, let's do this.
I got 2 flat tires right now.
No way, really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
On your e-bike?
There's so much construction around here.
A lot
Who knows what I'm running over every day.
All right.
Yeah.
By the way, Christian Hogan is in our live YouTube chat and he says, "Do better, JB." I mean, for real.
No. Be better.
Be better.
Be better.
Be better. Be better, JB. Come on.
Anyways,
man.
I think now that you sent that video, and now that I know what you're talking about, I find it very fascinating what you said. I think that's a great place to start.
All right, it is a great place. It is a great place to start today's show. It is a fantastic way to start today's show.
Send me the link.
Now, here's the deal. 10 minutes into today's broadcast, 10 minutes in or 8 minutes in or however far we're in, 8 minutes into today's broadcast, now we'll actually tell you what the hell we're talking about. How about that?
Here you go.
Here we go.
Go.
Yeah.
The Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly of San Diego, now the Mega Market, are doing a campaign called Charge Up to Kickoff, where they are going to Orange County, Inland Empire, Los Angeles, El Segundo, and guess where they're going? Guess where they're stepping foot in?
Do not say San Diego. Do not say San
Diego. And not only did they already did it on Monday in Ocean Beach. They had a get together. So this video that Browner sent us that we can play for everybody when we come back from commercial happened already in Ocean Beach.
Can you imagine if you're in St. Louis right now? And by the way, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a Rams fan, okay? Because as soon as the Chargers left for LA, I said, what's the way to hurt the Chargers is to become a fan of their competitor in the market. I'm a Rams fan. And so I know that bothers a lot of St. Louis people, just like it bothers me that there are Charger fans. But could you imagine the Rams showing up in St. Louis for some sort of a rally? We'll explain what we're talking about next. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
What a chance it is for Adam Paxton and Victor Tingstrom to pick up their first weekly titles. Adam Paxton, well, it's been the dream debut so far for him. For Victor Tingstrom, he'll feel like this is a moment a little while coming. A place in the final up for grabs for one.
You can do it. Make that double 18 away from a place in the final.
Wesley Plaisir was beaten, knocked out by Mike Warburton in a last leg decider.
That is what they are playing for. They are playing for the trophy. They are playing for the big prize pot, and they are playing for a place in the £25,000 Champions Week.
97.
There is a point you feel that reality will surely kick in for Adam Paxton. He's here on debut. He watches the Super Series almost every single week. He was happy just to be playing in a group. This could be the leg that we talk about at the end of the night as being the one that changed the final, because Adam Paxton has just gone cold at the moment.
Bang on cue.
He doesn't just get two, he gets the lot.
Adam should take out the 16 out. If not, Mike's just behind him.
Shot on the fifth leg.
Can Paxton deliver one of the biggest moments of his career so far? He can. Double 12. What a moment that is from Adam Paxton. Mike Warburton was looking at 60 to win the match.
14.
Paxton, here's your moment. He approaches the hockey with confidence, with time, and delivers. Adam Paxton on debut. The boy, the fanboy, comes to the Super Series and wins.
Today by our friends at Blenders Eyewear. BlendersEyewear.com. See these right here? These are the new Coach Primes. Now, here's the thing. We better enjoy Coach Prime, and we better enjoy Colorado while they're still relevant. And listen, after the way they played this past weekend against North Dakota State, and don't sell me. I hate when people try and sell me on this. Well, you know, North Dakota State's number 2 in the FCS rankings, and they're a really top-level FCS program. Yes, they are. I got it. I do. But when they show up at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, to take on Colorado, who's supposed to have this great recruiting coach and this great inspirational coach, and he's supposed to have all this control of his program, because if you report that he doesn't have control of his program, he shuts you out at the press conference. We're not going to have Coach Prime around very long unless he does something special this year. So, hey, enjoy these Coach Primes. Look at this right here, Alex. You got the Prime on the back, right? I know you can't really see it too much. Up here, this is my favorite part. I believe. It says, I believe right here. And so all I'll say is this, we coming. And I hope Coach Prime in Colorado stay relevant. But I'll tell you this right now, these new Blender Coach Primes, they are very relevant, and they are now out. They are yours, and they are sharp. You get the 20% discount when you use our code Kaplan. And wherever you are in the country, they will send them right to you. And by the way, one other little note, everybody was telling me at the fantasy draft, they're now getting their prescription lenses filled at Blender stores, and you can do it all online. You just put in your prescription, man, you pick out the frames, they send them to you. So wherever you are around the country, man, enjoy them. BlendersEyewear.com. Use that code Kaplan. And Alex, you got to get your new Coach Primes.
I need to meet up with Browner as soon as I can. I want them. I need them. Did I get the white ones or the black ones?
I don't know, because when I went into the box, there were 3 pairs, and I knew you said you liked the black ones, so I just took these white ones. And Browner got some combination of black and white, I think.
Nice.
And I don't know, maybe you're going to get
all black ones. I need I need to get my hands on the alphas too before anybody does. I need the San Diego State ones ASAP.
Okay. All right. Hey, big shout out
if you want.
You what?
I don't even know. I can open his if he wants them.
Yeah, open.
I'd like to be surprised.
Okay.
Oh no, let's do it. Let's like Christmas.
Right, open them up.
Virtual
hey, by
Christmas.
the way, shout out to everybody who's watching on Facebook, everybody who's watching on Twitter. On Facebook, I get it, man. We do not have like millions of people watching on Facebook. But on Twitter, we got a healthy group of people that are hanging out. Everybody on SportsGrid TV, everybody listening on SportsGrid Radio, and everybody who's part of our YouTube chat. We're glad you guys are here, and we're going to get to the story we started in a second. But hold on, Browner's showing us the new blenders. Let's see what you got. All right, come on, Browner. Let's go.
All the stuff in a box that belonged to him that I have.
Oh, to me.
Yeah. Oh man, you got like a big ass box of stuff for Grande. Let's see what you got. All right, here we go. Here's Grande's new blenders. He's opening them up. He's taking them out.
One.
Oh, damn!
I'm gonna rock the hell out of
Those are dope.
We'll rock the hell out of them.
Those are
Hell
dope.
yeah.
I think JD Ocampo got them same ones. You know. Hector Padilla, your cousin, he's in our live YouTube chat. He said he got the black primes.
Yeah.
See, this is how we operate. He gave us a box. I opened one. I didn't even open the other one. I just assumed like, hey, well, these are mine.
Yeah,
And
they're all the same.
box is his.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I didn't even be like, let me see which ones work better for me.
20% off on Blenders Eyewear, blenderseyewear.com. Use our code Kaplan. You save 20%. All right, go back to the beginning of today's show.
Yes.
We started off by saying that we can't get Brown Man to participate in the pre-show, and then I said to him, I said, Brown, why didn't you tell us about the whole Charger thing? And then the debate that you were having with everybody on Twitter. By the way, I'm still calling it Twitter. I'll never refer to it as X. I'll always still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
And then Alex finally got into the conversation. So now let's go to the beginning. What's the story here?
It's called Charge Up to Kickoff. It's basically a fan event, a week of Bolt fam get-togethers around Southern California featuring special appearances, exclusive giveaways, and a whole lot more as we gear up for a season opener against the Raiders. So it's called Charge Up to Kickoff. Browner sends me.
By the way, come on, Raiders. I want to see the Raider fans. I want to see the Raider Nation take over SoFi Stadium on Sunday. I want it to be so
Don't tell that to Stephen A. He ain't never seen it.
Oh, I know. I want it to be so black and dark inside SoFi Stadium that when there's like 5 or 6 people wearing powder blue shirts, I want them to stick out like sore thumbs in the Raiders' home stadium in LA. All right, go ahead, Alex.
So then Browner sends us this video of the Charger get-together, and it turns out it was at Dirty Birds in Ocean Beach.
Oh, my God. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing for Dirty Birds. And I know those guys who own Dirty Birds. That is just embarrassing.
And then the continuation was that a account called @ChargersCountry tweeted, even Padre fans don't congregate like this in San Diego.
Yeah, that's
Show
what
me a
got me going.
video. Show me a video where they're just hanging out like this. LOL.
So then Browner said,
And what did
Browner said something like, that's not the flex you think it is.
Yeah, listen, I don't really know what their game plan is about, continuing to harvest fans here or trying to reignite the flame that they had with the fan base here. But this ain't the proper route to go about doing it, big fella. This ain't the route you want to run on the route tree. Well, this ain't gonna work.
Well, here's the thing. And listen, for everybody that's listening around the country, you got to understand where we're at here, okay? The Chargers moved out of San Diego. I want to say it was 2016. It's been 8 years, okay? We're salty. We're bitter. We acknowledge that, okay? But for 8 years, they have not even touched San Diego County. So they have been focused on LA. And the Rams have done a great job of not only cultivating an audience in LA. Why? Because they built a world-class stadium, the best on the planet.
Correct.
They won a Super Bowl in that stadium. They've got a charismatic coach. They've got a veteran potential Hall of Fame quarterback. They had the best defensive player. They've become the brand of LA. But the Chargers, who said, you know what, wait a second, why are the Rams going to San Diego and cultivating the fan base? Because you guys left it. And now all these years later, 8 years later, the Chargers do realize that there are some holdovers somewhere in San Diego, and they went to Ocean Beach. That's not like the northern part of the county. That is balls deep,
But if you're in OB, that's a selective part of town to be in. That's very specific. That Dirty Birds it sticks out from the rest of OB. OB is a particular type of place. And if you're going to do a gathering of sports fans again, Dirty Birds is great established, plenty of locations. I got no beef with them. And OB, that is the part that interests me. And for somebody to really think to say, and then to equate that to say, oh, you don't even see Padre fans hanging out like this. Hey, bro, you ever see this thing called Petco downtown in the Gaslamp? That's where they hang out. I don't know if you've heard.
Yeah.
One of the largest crowds.
Times have changed. People have moved on.
Right. I know. And listen, for you 30 or 40 people, good for you guys. But I'm just shocked that the Chargers would even step foot into San Diego County. All right, stick around. In fact, let's take a look at the NFL weekend because it starts tomorrow.
happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah, folks. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Perry on the top. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
376-1299. That's our man, Gary Cooper. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, if he's in San Diego and he works the San Diego / Riverside counties, and he's a real estate expert in those parts of the country, why would I in Philadelphia or New York or South Florida, why would I care about Gary Cooper? Let me just tell you one thing right now. Call him and talk to him. Never make a move in real estate without first talking to Gary Cooper, because he may not necessarily be able to work for you in your particular market, but he might be able to make connections for you. And I'm telling you right now, you need consultation. You need an expert. You need somebody who really knows what's going on in the real estate and lending industry. That's our main man, Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Realty Services, locals, 858-376-1299, 858-376-1299. All right. We were talking about how the Chargers had the audacity to listen. If you're going to go and you're going to try and tour Southern California and say, hey, look, we're going to be in LA. We're going to throw a rally. We're going to be in Orange County. We're going to hopefully get a bunch of fans. We're going to, where was the third place?
Inland Empire.
Yeah. We're going to go out east and we're going to try and grab a bunch of fans out there. And we're going to go to our original home base, San Diego, and see what's still around. I think it's gutsy. I think it's ballsy. And for all of you guys that sent us these tweets telling us, look, you couldn't even get Padre fans to do this. You guys are out of your minds. All right. Go to a random Padre game on a Tuesday night against like Miami and go see how the bars and restaurants are jam-packed with everybody wearing Padre gear. Hey, just this past Saturday when we had our fantasy football draft, there wasn't one guy who showed up wearing, or girl, showed up wearing any Charger gear of any kind. Everybody was rocking Padre gear. The Chargers have long been forgotten in San Diego, and people have invested their time, energy, money, and fandom into the Padres. And we'll talk about what's going on in the NL West and what the Dodgers did last night against the Angels, how it applies to the Padres, and what the Padres have coming up later today, which, by the way, is a monster story. We'll get to it coming up. Are you guys like me, though? Are you ready for the NFL to kick off or what? I can't wait for tomorrow night, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tomorrow, and it starts, what I like about it is, you know, everybody has a team. Everybody's going to watch their team. If you're a Panthers fan, you're going to watch the Panthers regardless, right? What I love about it is the primetime schedule is just, I mean, let's be real. It's sexy. It's good. It's hot. It's the hot girl in school. You know what I'm saying? Like this primetime schedule is where it's at. When you're giving me Ravens at Chiefs, Eagles
Packers
on Friday, Packers on Friday. There's two greens. I got them confused. You're giving me Lions, Rams. You're giving me Jets, Niners to start this season. I mean, what else can you ask for? This is where it's at, dude. That primetime schedule is money.
Yeah, the Rams Lions on Sunday night. I mean, you talk about like a full day of football. Like for me, I'll be watching the Patriots and the Bengals at 10 a.m. That's Pacific time. I'll be watching the Bengals and the Patriots at 10 a.m. But as the day goes on, then I got the Chargers and the Raiders. Let's go silver and black. Let's go Raiders. Let's take over SoFi Stadium. Let's give Jim Harbaugh his first loss as a Charger coach. By the way, I'm having to root for this and root for this and root for it because I don't believe it's really going to happen. I would think week 1 at home, Harbaugh's first game, etc. I got to think the Chargers win this game. But I'm rooting for the Raiders. And then the Rams and the Lions, I mean, a rematch of the playoff game last year where Matthew Stafford goes back to Detroit. What a freaking Sunday. But it all starts tomorrow, which is amazing.
Yep. First of all, number 1 game for me, Bears Titans. That's it. That's all. Your mic's off. Bears Titans. That's it. That's all for me, man. The number 1 pick about the rain pain on the Titans.
Listen, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking your team, your former team. I saw a nice chart the other day. And it was a chart of the last quarterbacks for each team in the NFL that have thrown for 30 or more touchdowns. And every team, the Packers, Jordan Love, the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, the Lions, Jared Goff. Oh, the Bears is empty. No one's ever done it for the Bears. No one's ever thrown 30 touchdowns for the Bears as a quarterback.
Okay.
Oh,
that's cute.
Yeah. But then you go to the rest of the teams, Geno Smith, Brock Purdy, Matt Stafford, they're got everybody has.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds great. All right. Yeah. Cool. All right. We got time. We got time.
We got time. Hey, I see people on our live YouTube chat. They're saying, but don't forget about college football on Saturday. Texas and Michigan on Saturday is the big game on Fox early in the morning, 9 a.m. West Coast. And by the way, East Coast people, I know you guys hear us and you're like, oh my God, college football at 9 in the morning on Saturday. That sucks, man. NFL,
no, it doesn't.
10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. That sucks. No, bro, listen to me. If you live in the East, if you live in New York, Philly, Atlanta, Miami, wherever you live, you just come spend a weekend out West and you watch NFL games at 10, 1, and 5:30. You'd be like, this is way better.
Every time I'm on the East Coast watching football waiting till 1, it's like, what is this trash?
Sucks, right?
Yeah, where I'm used to kick off with mimosas. What is this?
Yeah, dude. When I lived in New York, and this is going back like 25 years ago ish. 25 years. I can't believe it. When I lived in New York, dude, a Monday night football game would last till 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to be on the air at 6 o'clock in the morning. The worst. Everybody stick around. Eric Williams from Fox Sports is next.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Would it make you feel better as a sports fan if they said after the game we were trying to cover the spread?
Oh God, to say it out loud? Oh my God, no.
So what?
To say it out loud? Oh my God, you can't say that out loud. No, you can't do that.
Okay, so what is the big deal? Either way.
Oh, play the game the right way.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
I feel like the first person to take a kicker in fantasy football is somebody that feels like, man, I had a really bad draft. Let me make sure I get the best kicker. The way I've always looked at it that way. Like, oh, I did so bad, so let me take Justin Tucker.
The key for me is, though, I make marks. Okay, this guy, I'll highlight him because I don't want 3 or 4 of these guys. I draft 3 or 4 of these guys and they all get hurt. I have no one to blame but me.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you're really, really amazing like this, people kind of take it for granted. Same with Ohtani, right? People will sort of see, oh, Ohtani did this, Ohtani did that, and it sort of, becomes normalized a little bit. But to put in context, Aaron Judge joins the 1,000 hit club, gets it done. So earlier this month, he was the fastest player to reach 300 home runs ever.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
It is Wednesday, and that means it is time for our weekly conversation with Eric Williams from FoxSports.com. Eric Williams covers the NFC West and the AFC West for Fox Sports. He's been around the NFL forever. He's been a great friend of this show for so many years. And here he is for the kickoff of the season, Eric Williams from FoxSports.com. Eric, how are you today, man? And are you ready for some football?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Yeah, definitely ready for week 1 of the NFL season. Looking forward to the games starting on Thursday with a big one. Chiefs hosting Ravens. It could be another AFC Championship preview. So, yeah, definitely ready to get started.
Eric, where will you be this weekend? Will you go to Chargers Raiders?
Yeah, we'll be at Chargers Raiders. So, obviously, looking forward to Coach Harbaugh's debut in terms of the regular season and Raiders week for the Chargers, and looking forward to what that matchup's going to entail in terms of Antonio Pierce and what we're going to see now that he's the permanent head coach of that team, how they're going to use Davante Adams, how is that defense in terms of the Chargers going to match up. I think more importantly, is Justin Herbert going to be fully healthy, and are we going to see his full talents on display on Sunday?
Or will we see Max Crosby crushing Justin Herbert, which is, by the way, what I'm rooting for, just so you know. I mean, I can't wait. I want the silver and black. I want the Raider Nation to take over SoFi Stadium. I want the Raider Nation to remind everybody that this is still Raider country, LA, and hopefully they take over the place, because I want Jim Nantz and Tony Romo on the broadcast to say, wow, Tony, there's a lot of Raider fans here for the opening and for Harbaugh's debut. I would hate to see all of a sudden like a lot of powder blue and just a little bit of black. What do you suppose happens, Eric?
I think it's going to be half and half. I think you're going to see a lot of Raider fans. I think that's to be expected. But I think the Charger fans are going to show up as well, just because, again, this is a new era. It's Harbaugh's debut. So I think if you have Charger season tickets, you're less inclined to sell them versus what happened, last year, where obviously, they were on their last legs in terms of Brandon Staley and what was happening there. And they ended up, firing Staley after the end of that game.
Yeah. And don't forget, part of the storyline, Tom Telesco, who for many, many years was the architect of the Chargers roster, which was a good roster. It just didn't win. They had a lot of talent, didn't win. Tom Telesco is now the general manager of the Raiders. He was fired by the Chargers after the Raiders put up 63 on him last year. So a little revenge factor there for Tom Telesco.
Don't also forget, I don't know if you guys remember how pissed off Davante Adams was at the Chargers media social team for calling him trash in their NFL schedule release video. And Davante was trying to remind everybody, I averaged like 130 yards against that team, and I killed that team. And now that defense, who's older, like, I'm going to go in there and crush that team. So I'm looking at Davante. I think his number 79.5. Out the water, he's going to get way over that.
Okay, I love that play already. What do you think about that, Eric?
I like that play as well, considering who's back there in the Chargers secondary. You look at Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Zamir White's going to be running the football now instead of Josh Jacobs. The only concern is Gardner Minshew is the one throwing them the football. So, somebody has to throw Adams the ball in order for him to get those yards. And so that's the concern, is how is he going to handle the pressure of being the starter for the Raiders? And is he going to be able to get Adams the football enough?
So, Eric, listen, you could be mad as you want as a social media team for the way that they rolled out the schedule. You can be as fired up as you want as a Raider fan about what somebody could be. But the rubber about to meet the road. And Gardner Minshew's on his 4th team, if I'm not mistaken, and 5 or 6 seasons for a reason, okay? And Aiden O'Connell got beat out for that job for a reason. You got to have the right person throwing you the ball. As much of a fan I am of Davante Adams, and these two will attest to that, you have to have the right guy throwing you the ball. So I'm not excited about the Raiders season at all, and I'm a huge fan of the head coach. I'm a huge fan of Antonio Pierce. I just don't see it happening.
I think that's fair, Browner. When you look at, like you said, if you have a quarterback competition, you probably don't have a quarterback in your building. And I think that's certainly the case. When you talk about the Raiders, I think it's one of the reasons why all the speculation with Dak Prescott one of the potential landing spots is the Raiders in terms of, if he becomes a free agent, what teams are going to be bidding on his services. I also expect the Rams to be one of those teams, considering Matthew Stafford's getting long in the tooth. But when you look at the Raiders season right now, they're obviously going to do their best to try to protect Gardner, which means run the football, play good defense behind them. And again, I think that's one of the matchups that we're have to really watch is the Condor, Max Crosby, going against that rookie right tackle in Joel. Is he going to be able to hold up to give Justin Herbert enough time to get the ball to guys like Josh Palmer and Ladd McConkey? And will they be able to establish the run, which is obviously what Harbaugh wants to do? He wants to hard-nose, grind it out, running game approach in terms of taking some of the pressure off of Justin. Will they be able to do that against a pretty good Raiders defensive front that also has Christian Watkins, who they added in free agency?
All right, Eric Williams is here from FoxSports.com. He covers the AFC West and the NFC West. He'll be at the Chargers-Raiders game on Sunday. We'll talk about a variety of other things coming up in just one second, but I just want to add one last thing. Alex, you said Devontae Adams' more or less number in terms of player props was 79.5 yards receiving. I just looked this up. Gardner Minshew is 215.5 yards passing. So would you play that more or less? Because let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. See, for me, you guys are all downing on Gardner
Sling
Minshew.
that thing.
I'm telling you right now, Gardner Minshew, you can tell me how many teams he's played for. And I think Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Has there been anybody else? The one thing about Gardner Minshew is that guy, he has been a winner. I'm not saying he's won a Super Bowl. I'm just saying that he goes places, and as a backup quarterback, he has proven to be a winner. He did it early in his career, and his number was 215.5 yards.
Okay.
I'm taking the under. I know Kaplan's believing in that Minshew magic, but it didn't look so great when I watched him in training camp and in preseason. He might get there because he might have to throw a lot in order for this game to be competitive. So I could see some garbage yards there in the fourth quarter, which may get to the number.
You guys think this game's going to be close and competitive, or you think the Chargers? Because I genuinely think this is going to be a competitive ball game. Because it's like complete opposite of what the Raiders are. The Chargers have the quarterback, and that's it, in my opinion. Like, that's it. I think there's so many question marks at tight end, receiver, running back. And then the Raiders, obviously, we already talked about it. They have the weapons and don't have the quarterback. I don't know what the Chargers are going to be yet.
That's why I think it's going to be, like you said, a competitive game. I think it's going to be a defensive game, a lot of punts back and forth, field position game, 16-13, something like that early in the season, where both offenses are still trying to establish their identity.
We are talking like the man who's now head coaching this team doesn't have a track record. We're talking as if Jim Harbaugh is a first-time hire. This ain't no mystery. We know what he gonna do, baby. He finna run that thing, and they ain't gonna be able to stop it. This game ain't gonna be. Minshew ain't gonna get them yards because Harbaugh finna run, play action, pass, throw a deep one every now and then, show off what he got with Herbert, and this game gonna be a wrap, bruh. Minshew ain't gonna get to 215 because they're gonna have 215 running for the Chargers. Buckle up to run. This ain't new.
Harbaugh didn't bring Frank Gore with him from San Francisco.
I was gonna say, dude.
Yeah,
J.K.
the running backs
Dobbins
back there look
Edwards, bro.
different.
Come on now.
I know this is like going to the track and betting exclusively on the jockey. You know what I mean? Browner is all in on Harbaugh.
Yeah.
He not even looking at the roster. He is all in on Harbaugh.
Don't need to, especially at the running back position. They're interchangeable. Unless you got Saquon Barkley, unless you got Christian McCaffrey, they just dudes.
All right. Hold on a second, everybody. Eric Williams is here. Eric Williams from FoxSports.com. We'll take a very brief 2-minute timeout, and then Eric Williams will come back. I'd like to shift the conversation from Chargers Raiders, and I'd really like to get into the 49ers and what they've done right before the kickoff of the regular season. And I'd also like to talk about the rematch between the Rams and the Lions, and then wherever else we're going to go from here. From FoxSports.com, Eric Williams is in the house. This is Kaplan and crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
As we get ready for tomorrow night's kickoff between Kansas City and Baltimore. Hey, Eric, real quick, just a side note. Have you received your package of Life Brew?
I did. Tried it out for the first time last week. Pretty good stuff, and liked what I got. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Well, did you try this version, the green bag with the caffeine, or did you try the orange bag, which is the decaf?
Caffeine, baby.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hell yeah.
All right, because Brett Weiss, who's the owner of the company, he said, "Hey, have you spoken to Eric Williams? What does he think about the Life Brew?" The guy is obsessed. I mean, he is 24/7 obsessed with this brand and this company, and I give him all the credit in the world. Matter of fact, I was just looking at a commercial break. He's in Philadelphia right now. He went to the Rocky statue in downtown Philly, and he put bags of Life Brew right next to Rocky. All right, Rocco! And there's bags of Life Brew sitting right next to him. And then Brett's running up the stairs like at the old Philadelphia Spectrum where Rocky ran up the stairs, and he's got his bags of Life Brew. Anyway, so he's out of his mind, and he just wanted to get your feedback, man. So glad you like it.
So, Brett, appreciate it.
All right, right on. Okay, Eric Williams is here, and we were talking Chargers, Raiders. We were talking about the AFC West side of things. Let's go over to the NFC West. What a weekend in terms of the primetime games. You've got the Rams and the Lions and the rematch of last year's playoffs and the continuing storyline of Jared Goff for the Lions and Matthew Stafford for the Rams and the flip-flop. And then on Monday night, you've got Aaron Rodgers, we assume healthy from a year ago, taking the Jets to his hometown, San Francisco, to play against his hometown team, the team that he rooted for. Eric, when you look at the odds for the NFC West, the Niners are an overwhelming favorite. How do you think the NFC West goes this year?
They should be the overwhelming favorite because they have by far the best roster 1 through 53. So I don't think there's any way you can really go against the Niners. I know they had a lot of noise this offseason with contract issues with Ayuk and Trent Williams, but ultimately both those guys got paid. They're in camp. They're ready to play. Obviously, the Ricky Pearsall issue with him having the altercation and being shot, and hopefully he's able to get healthy and get back onto the field at some point this season. But it's all in for San Francisco. They signed the guys they needed to sign. Christian McCaffrey is back practicing this week, so it looks like he's ready to go, ready to play. Brock Purdy has another year in that system. They certainly are going to be motivated, based on what happened in the Super Bowl last year, to come out and show that they're the same team that, they were last year and the years before that, and the team we expect them to be. I'm interested to see how the Jets match up, both defensively and is Aaron Rodgers healthy and how much of a difference he's going to make it on offense. But to be honest, I expect the Niners to go up and down the field.
Am I alone in thinking that the Rams are not going to be good this year? Like I just trading their captain, their middle linebacker, their play caller a week before the season on an already depleted defense. Dude, like Matt Stafford is the tackle away from a broken back every time. Like I just don't see it this year for the Rams. I know that Cooper Kupp is healthy. I know Puka's not even 100% right now. Kyron Williams has questions. Matthew Stafford's always a giant question mark. Am I alone in thinking that like the odds makers are wrong on the Rams, I think.
And you didn't really hit on the major issue, which is the offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, their left tackle suspended for 2 games. Their right tackle has a lower leg injury. They're not sure he's going to play in Rob Havenstein. And then in the interior, they moved the left guard that they signed a bunch of money to, and Jonah Jackson to center, and moved Steven Avila back to left guard to kind of shore things up in the middle. So there's a lot of instability in terms of their offensive line. And as you mentioned, Stafford was dealing with a hamstring issue and missed some time during practice. A couple years ago, he was dealing with injuries and ended up, going on the shelf at the end of the year. So you're right. That kind of points to the fragility of this team. So I do think they might struggle a little bit early as they try to figure things out. But again, Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He'll weather this first couple weeks and they might struggle, but I think ultimately they'll be a 10-win team by the end of the year. But I do like the Lions in this game because of everything that you mentioned and really the offensive line going into this game.
Oh yeah, I'm hammering all the Moors for Amon-Ra St. Brown this week.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, I know. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's ever since I watched receiver. Hey, Eric, one other game that I want to just, kind of bring up to you. You covered the Seahawks for a really long time. And I think it's super interesting that Bo Nix has been named the starting quarterback of Denver. He had a really nice preseason, but he's also not just is he the starter, he's a captain for the Denver Broncos. So, I don't think Seattle poses much threat to San Francisco. I don't know if Seattle is a real contender, even just to make the postseason, but I just wonder what you think about the Broncos starting a rookie quarterback and the opening game in Seattle.
Yeah, definitely like Seattle in this one. I think it's always tough for rookies in their opening season game, particularly on the road. Seattle is a tough place to play. And I had a chance to watch Seattle in the preseason. And again, I know it's preseason and everybody is vanilla, but I really like the way that they pursued the football and the way they tackled in the open field, just kind of those basic fundamentals. We haven't seen a Seattle defense do that for a number of years. And so they kind of seem to be getting back to the old Seattle defense that we saw the first couple of years when Pete was there. So really impressed with Mike McDonald in terms of how he's handled the situation. A very stoic approach when you see him in the press conferences and on the sidelines. There are a lot of unknowns. New offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, new defensive coordinator, new special teams coach Jim Harbaugh's son. So you wonder how they're going to handle it. But I think the defense is going to play well, which is probably the most important thing because they've really struggled defensively, and they have some pieces on offense. Kind of like the Rams. You wonder how they're going to do the first couple of weeks. You watch them, but I do like them against a rookie in terms of what Mike McDonald will do defensively against that rookie on Sunday.
See, I think we haven't talked enough, and I'm talking about from a wider perspective.
How long has he got here so that Browner can
so
set
Browner
this up?
can
Eric, you got a few more minutes or you got to roll?
I do.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Browner, set us up for where we're going next.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
I have a real question.
Let's go.
Not a fake question?
Ooh.
Maybe.
A real question.
I love real questions.
Real questions are very different than fake questions. Very, very different. This is Kaplan and crew. Got Grande, got the Brown Man, got Eric Williams from FoxSports.com. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Let's finish up this hour with just a little bit more with Eric Williams. Coming right back. Stick around, everybody.
Buy or sell, Anthony Richardson will be a top 7 fantasy quarterback this season. We're keeping this realistic here. We know that nobody would think that he'll be in the top 3, probably not even the top 5. How about top 7, George? Buy or sell?
You know, if he stays healthy, top 5 is not out of question here at all. He's a running quarterback. We know how valuable they can be. My worry is going to be what I mentioned when we talked about the Indianapolis Colts. Boy, man, if Pittman were to go down, there's not a lot to throw. He'll be running for his life half the time there. I like Richardson a lot. Small sample size of what we saw of what he's going to be. I played the 5 games last year before the injury here. So, or a longer season, we'll see if he gets some catch up to him, what he can do. He's going to have to prove he can throw the ball. So he'll be down the field here. I'm going to buy this. All right, I want to buy on Anthony Richardson. I want him to be that guy because I want to see the excitement that he can bring. I think, smart money might say go the other way because there's so many quarterbacks in that tier that, hey, he could have a good year and still not finish top 7. That being said, I think he will show, just like he did last year, he's going to be dynamic. I'm buying top 7.
Yeah, it reminds me so much of Cam Newton in the early days too. I'm going to sell on this. I think it's too high. I think most leagues take away points for interceptions. If that's the case, I think his numbers are going to be 20-something touchdowns, 15, 16-something interceptions. That's going to negate some stuff. Yes, he will run. Can he play an entire season? Still very questionable for me. I have him as the 9th best fantasy quarterback at the end of the season, just outside the top 7. So I'm going to go sell on that.
A real question, not a fake question.
Yeah.
About the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see what you got.
We'll see if it's a great question.
Yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals have Kyler Murray, our former number 1 pick. They now have Marvin Harrison Jr., who would have been the number 1 pick if it wasn't for the quarterbacks that went in front of him. Are we underestimating the possible division champion Arizona Cardinals?
Are we underestimating the what?
The possibility?
That's what I said. I didn't stutter, sir.
I don't. Eric, do you consider that a real question? I don't know if that's a real question.
I think it's a real question after week 1.
All right.
I like the Cardinals on the road against the Bills. I think if you're going to play in Buffalo, this is the time to do it.
Just the time.
And I agree with Browner. I do feel like they're being underestimated nationally for good reason. There's been a lot of dysfunction just in terms of the franchise in general and ownership when you look at everything that's happened and all the litigation. And Kyler has struggled both in terms of health, with his coaching staff and how he's been perceived because of all the homework contract clause. But he seems to be a great fit for this offense. I have a lot of respect for Drew Petzing, been able to spend some time there in Arizona, watching them practice and talking to people, on the coaching staff and players. They have a lot of pieces on offense, along with Marvin Harrison. Michael Wilson out of Stanford's going in his 2nd year. Greg Dortch, their slot guy, makes a lot of plays. Trey McBride is an up-and-coming tight end. So you feel like they can score on offense. James Conner had 1,000 yards rushing last year. Defense is going to be the key. How are they going to get after the pass rusher? They lost Ojulari to a season-ending knee injury. Their 1st-round pick, the other one, Darius Robinson, I believe is going to start the season on IR, so he's going to be out. They're going to rely on Zaven Collins to try to create pass rush, who used to play inside. A couple of the Chargers that are going to be important players for them, former Charger players. Justin Jones plays inside at their defensive tackle. They'll expect him to push the pocket. And then Kaiser White runs their defense, who used to play for the Chargers as well. But I think overall, the pieces are there. They just might be a year or 2 away from making noise in the division.
I gotta push back a little bit on what you said the key to the season is. The key to the season is how good is Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Because otherwise Kyler may not study his playbook.
Comes out October 25th.
You're welcome for the softball there, Alex.
I know it is weird. I do have this perception, and it's ever since Kyler Murray signed that contract, I do have this perception that he's not committed to football. and it's probably such a bad thing. Like he's so under the radar. I don't pay attention to the Cardinals, and yet I have this perception that he don't put in the effort, and it's probably all wrong, but it was definitely based on what happened when he was signing that contract, and the Cardinals put that clause in, or at least the clause that was reported.
They hurt him more than they helped him.
It's their own fault for doing that, right? I mean, they basically set up their best player to be a piñata nationally by doing that, and he's been trying to overcome that ever since. There was an emphasis in the offseason for him to kind of do these outings and bondings with players. He took them to LA and they rented a mansion and worked out at UCLA for the week. He took them on a road trip to Oklahoma and to hang out there. So he's done all these things trying to repair his reputation, because of everything that's happened in the last couple of years. They say he's a grown person, a new man, all the things that you hear about people that are trying to rebuild their reputation. But, ultimately you have to go out and win games.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now. And by the way, now that you mentioned all that, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he went out to LA and worked out his teammates at UCLA. I didn't know that he took the guys to Oklahoma. Hey, I'm going to show you guys a good time back where I'm from. Those are those things that may sound hokey to a lot of people who are listening or watching right now. I put a lot into those kinds of gestures. And so we'll see. I love it. Hey, Brown, you know what? In the end, real question.
Real question.
That's a real question.
Can I ask
He's
Eric
sleeping
a
on my
quick
dog, Kyler
question?
Murray. Oh.
Yep.
Does any of this matter at the end of the day? Because the Chiefs are going to just win it all again.
I don't think they're going to do it.
No one's ever done it, right? No one's ever won 3 in a row.
And I think it's never happened for a reason, because it's really hard to do, to win 3 in a row and have everybody stay healthy and play at the same level year in and year out. My Super Bowl pick is Bengals Niners, with Niners winning it all.
Wow.
Joe can stay healthy. He's already proven that he can go to Arrowhead and beat that team in the postseason.
Wow.
Bengals are Burrow's healthy.
Yeah.
So
we got to roll. We got to roll. We're hitting this top of the hour break. Eric Williams, read his stuff, foxsports.com. Eric, we'll talk to you next week. Hour number 2 next on Kaplan and Crew.
Buy or sell, Anthony Richardson will be a top 7 fantasy quarterback this season. We're keeping this realistic here. We know that nobody would think that he'll be in the top 3, probably not even the top 5. How about top 7, George? Buy or sell?
If he stays healthy, top 5 is not out of question here at all. He's a running quarterback. We know how valuable they can be. My worry is going to be what I mentioned when we talked about the Indianapolis Colts. Boy, man, if Pittman were to go down, there's not a lot to throw. He'll be running for his life half the time there. I like Richardson a lot. Small sample size of what we saw of what he's going to be. I played the 5 games last year before the injury here. So over a longer season, we'll see if he gets some catch up to him, what he can do. He's going to have to prove he can throw the ball, so he'll be down the field here. I'm going to buy this. All right, I want to buy on Anthony Richardson. I want him to be that guy because I want to see the excitement that he can bring. That I think smart money might say go the other way, because there's so many quarterbacks in that tier that hey, he could have a good year and still not finish top 7. That being said, I think he will show just like he did last year. He's going to be dynamic. I'm buying top 7.
Yeah, reminds me so much of Cam Newton in the early days too. I'm going to sell on this. I think it's too high. I think most leagues take away points for interceptions. If that's the case, I think his numbers are going to be 20-something touchdowns, 15, 16-something interceptions. That's going to negate some stuff. Yes, he will run. Can he play an entire season? Still very questionable for me. I have him as the 9th best fantasy quarterback at the end of the season, just outside the top 7. So I'm going to go sell on that.